You see that kid? Yeah, that one in the tree. That stupid, weird little kid. Yeah, that's me as a kid. And on the left is my brother, also in the tree, also stupid. Because the Toyland movie universe is a project of mine, a dream of mine. It's me remaking every little childhood game I had with my brother when we played with the toys and we made stories. Stories that I did not forget. They pretty much were all I did as a kid. And this is me making movies out of them because what better to do? This is me reacting to all of them. So I truly hope you enjoy what I do here. So this is the first movie. This is Toyland, which was made after quarantine pretty much set in as the basic lifestyle here in my country, and I had too much time on my hands. I didn't know what to do with it, so I grabbed my toy box. I took all my best action figures and decided, let's make a movie. So I did pretty much. In the fall of that year, I started working on it. In 20 minutes, I basically spoke with my girlfriend, who is the voice for some characters, and we settled the plot. And in like one weekend, I finished the script and started shooting. And I still think it's a pretty decent movie, even though I learned a few things. So let's see how well it holds up actually. This effect here with the red light is a flashlight that you put on your forehead to like go in the woods and fight bears or something. And it has a red option, which I don't know why it is there, but it is useful. I used it here and in other shots. And this was a bit of a problem because Iron Man is like 3 3/4 inch scale and Alan is about 5 6 inches in scale. So they are a bit off. I pretty much figured out a way to fix that, but I think it's okay. I mean, they're toys. The movie is called Toyland. Of course, because we were in lockdown, we each had to do our voices at home, and my girlfriend had a few issues, so you can see that her voice fades in and out sometimes, like here with Scorpius. And yeah, maybe the robotic effect wasn't the right choice with that issue, but I think it works okay. I mean, the Bakugan are not really an important part of this, they are just henchmen. You can see here I did this little joke, if you can call it a joke, on the door. Just small details that I thought I want to point out. And yeah, here I did not have a full-size car for Iron Man to have, and also not a full-size city to have in the back. So I pretty much deleted the background, added in the city and the car, and just moved it and for like a bit, like a few centimeters, and kept switching on and off between the two frames to make it look as if he's levitating. It doesn't do the job. And this is just a stock music from Movavi, nothing special. The car is a small model car, too small I think. I mean, the Bakugan are bigger than it, and Alan is supposed to be driving. You can even see that's the steering wheel, and there's no Alan. So yeah, the scale is off, but as I said, they are toys. Maybe Alan is a clown, who knows? I mean, he is a clown, he works for the police and doesn't even have working rear headlights. The walls are actually from a box of like expensive chocolate that I have no idea how they got into my house. And here comes Sonic. Sonic is actually a character I really wanted to be here because he was a part of my childhood. I really liked Sonic, and as I said, these movies are based on what my ideas were when playing with toys as a kid. I was one of those weird kids with ideas. But I never had a Sonic figure because we don't really get them here in my country. So I had to order this one online. This is my first and to this day only Sonic figure I have. And I'm really happy with it. And this here is also another case of bad CGI, I think you can call it. It kind of works here on the shiny door thing, but no. I don't realize. I don't think how I could make it work, but at the time this was the best idea I've had. In the Pokemon vs. Bakugan movie, I had a similar situation and I just put white paper in the background. I think that worked. Guido is just my girlfriend doing the Squirtle voice, but with a very high pitch applied. You're hearing Anker's voice without Anker being here. They're supposed to be on a telepathical call or something, which I didn't really show. That's a bad idea. I don't think if you noticed it, but you do now, you know now. Now here Alan was supposed to have a beer in his hand, because of course we've established he's a clown. If he doesn't have any rear lights, he also should drink beer at work, why not? But I didn't have a glass then. I found one now, but I just put a seed from some fruit in his hand and it works, I guess. It's just a snack. Yeah. Alan is not an alcoholic yet.
We did it again, Alan.
And that's the first and last time we see that face for Tony Stark. It's bad. He looks very Indian. It was first supposed to be just a test sculpt, but I liked how it looked, so I added in the paint. It works in scale, but it's not really Tony Stark. I lost it. I have no idea where it's gone. But now I have a new one, which you saw in the Sentinels, which is really big for his size, but it looks more like Tony Stark, so hey, no problem with that. And my mic back then was just the standard mic from a really cheap set of headphones. And now my mic is a microphone from a less cheap set of headphones. Mount Ultima, I remember when I was a kid I called it Mount Ural, and then I found out that's a real mountain in Russia, so I couldn't use that because Toyland is not in Russia. If I were to place it, it would be somewhere in the place of Georgia, because it has the sea on the west side of the country. And if you're wondering why Alan looks so damaged, well, he had a close encounter with a dog, or actually two dogs, maybe even three dogs. And yeah, and I just added in some red to make it look like he's battle damaged. I don't really want to take that back. I think it is okay. The only thing where it's bad is his little police hat, but... And I always called him Alan, even though I think, because I keep forgetting his name, he had like 5 names until I settled on Alan. And a few months after publishing this movie, I found out he's actually a Sergeant Siren figure from Rescue Heroes or something, some kids TV show. And he is actually made by Jakks Pacific, the same company that makes the Sonic figure. That's a fun fact. Now again, here I used the paint brush to hide the pillows in the background. This is my bed here. They are chasing a truck on my bed. But I think it works a bit here because I blended it with the bed sheet. And you can see in the truck we have a pencil sharpener and a little box of gold acrylic paint, which had dried.
Try to move the truck off the road.
And yes, the only thing that makes the road different from not the road is some pencils. Just low budget, I guess.
Truck's still going.
That thing you see there for the steering wheel of Alan is actually one of my many lost hair ties. I have no idea where it's gone. And the background is my PC, which is definitely not how a car seat looks, or there's not a Citroen one. It says TLPD from Toyland Police Department. obviously, but on the side it just says police. And also Alan continues to be a clown by driving with the door open. And he just commits murder here without thinking about it. He just drives straight into Cabo. And you can see he definitely fits in the car. It's definitely not ankle height for him. And here comes Sonic with my Sonic dash effect. Now if you stop it and look at it, it doesn't look that good. But in movements, it's okay, you don't really notice it. And this is the logo I made. It's a bit choppy. Now the timing of the framing here is a bit off with the dialogue. That's on me, that's my fault. Squirtle, I think, was a figure I found at a store, like a second-hand toy store, where you just take any toy you want, you put it in a bag, and you pay for every kilogram of toys. And that helped me get some toys for cheaper than they should. I think I paid like $2 for like 10 cars and 2 or 3 Pokemon, so yeah, that's okay. And I didn't know what to do with Squirtle because I didn't want him to work for Anchor because he has the Pokemon, the Bakugan. So I just made him a rookie police officer. You can notice there that is a red little like spot in the mirror. That's my shirt, my furry shirt. And this is supposed to be a table. It's actually a sponge, like a little sponge or a foam, which just spawned in my room from somewhere one day. I have no idea where it came from. Now, his name here, I want to tell you, is Anchorplat, but Anchorplat is it's like a slug thing in Star Wars, and this is just his thug, his like bully. But Anchorplat just works. He's a minor villain. Um, the effect for the headlights, I think, is alright. I couldn't really do headlights here because I tried to put a flashlight here, but then it would light up the car. And oh look, Alan fixed his stoplights. And this is just Anchor's house, but flipped. So yeah, it's supposed to be
Tony, I'm
dark.
on my way.
Yeah, sorry
Looks
for
like I'm alone now.
for all the headphone
What
users. And here comes Tepig, blows up his car, finally
Who
puts
are
it out
you?
of its
The
misery.
last thing you'll say.
Surrender now, policeman.
Um, Now Tido's voice here is a bit dim, a bit muffled. That's an effect I put on it because he's wearing a mask. Because, spoiler alert, if you somehow haven't seen this and you're watching this video, he's Bubo actually, Sonic's friend. So he's wearing this huge ass helmet. And that's a gun. Those 2 dots are a gun. Because I totally forgot to put a gun in his hand when shooting. So I thought, just 3 clicks, gun.
Are you related?
Now, this figure, this little Tepig figure that I use for Pipig, I think I won it at like a shoot targets thing at the carnival or something, and I had no use for it, so I decided, it's a small Tepig, it's Tepig's son. I don't have a mother, but he's the son. So that just works.
To the bigger pig outside?
We are not pigs.
With the voice by, of course, my girlfriend, because I cannot go that high with my voice. Now this was supposed to be a big city scene, but I don't have a big city, so it's just the bank from earlier. And this white thing that Sonic is standing on is supposed to be another building a bit higher up. It's just a box, which I was also using to hold my phone a bit higher.
Last night.
And these are toys. You can see an avocado, a sheep, a big bear with a t-shirt with dots, and an even bigger bear. These are all toys I bought for my girlfriend, and I thought that's a nice Easter egg, more for her because now you know that, but you didn't know this when the movie came out. So yeah, and this is the bomb, it's just a USB stick. And this was going to be something permanent on Squirtle, the officer coat, but no, it got ripped when I took it off. Now this sloth was made by my girlfriend as a joke. I mean, she was fooling around and I said, this is perfect. So, yeah, it fits. And this is perhaps the worst created set in here because this is supposed to be like an invisible, I mean, not an invisible, but a big glass wall between the outside world and the cell. It's just a glass, and I think you could easily go through here. I don't know.
They hit the road.
And that was an okay fight scene, I think. Fight sequence, not really a scene. But I forgot to add the sound effects for the punches. Oops.
It's a pig.
Another perfect, just one take line from my girlfriend. Again, I forgot to add the
You
punches.
guys fight. I'm just gonna go do the thing real quick. Mr.
And that's a Valtteri Bottas papercraft. Just a Valtteri Bottas papercraft. And now
That's
Tido
problematic.
uses Boomix. Tido is a Bakugan. Just easy one
Bubo,
shot.
what are you
And
doing
his
here?
helmet
What
comes
does
off. That's Bubo. That is a head I used for. I tried to make a Bubo action figure out of clay, but it kept not working. So I kept the head because the head is quite cool and turned out okay. And I used it on the Tido body. And then you saw in Shantae season 1 that I used a completely different figure. And yeah, I think that's a really good effect for the window breaking. But I think if I go back a
Stop
bit
this.
That
and
thing
manage
is
to
hard.
stop it, you can see through the window my monitor. And that is the script. That right there is the script. Because I didn't care here, but in the other movies when I see the monitor in the background, I just use the uh, spot healing brush tool and hide the text because it can contain spoilers, and if someone looks at the background for some reason it just sucks. But here I just left it. Who cares for spoilers in this movie? And you can see that I have Ryzen things and AMD.
Maybe
Again,
tell them to
I
stop.
forgot to add the punch sound effects, and you can see my headphones. Tepik's voice was just me doing my normal voice but holding my nose like this. You just hear that it sounds a bit more like a pig would sound. Maybe. I don't know.
The weapons in that.
Now, this was approaching the final act, and I was gonna have this big giant battle. But I didn't have anything for the heroes to battle because there were many heroes, and there was just Anchor, who has no powers, and Icebreaker, who just has ice powers. And of course the Bakugan, who are henchmen, so they are easily taken out. So I had to add Venom, which is a figure I made from scratch, basically, just like I did the Vector figure, and I think that's the only one you saw yet. So yeah, I had to use him, and he's defeated easily too. The final battle here is, I think, my weakest. And yeah, Bubo just grows from appearance to appearance. Here he's at his highest. If you don't count the ears, it's like at Sonic's forehead. And then in Shantae, he's about the same height.
Everyone in position. Day
And
one.
now Alan changed the seats and the driving layout for his car because now he's on the right and driving. Sure, go off, Alan. And now, as you noticed, I posted a Hotel Bakugan movie, like just before the new year, I think. And you can recognize maybe. Actually, I don't think. Maybe Zentor here, and this white paper thing is the battle arena from that movie and that series turned upside down. And this is the Troxmobile, which was supposed to appear in season 2 of Hotel Bakugan because they go on a road trip and they need vehicles. And that's Trox's vehicle. Just a giant T-Rex. I didn't do this second season. But there is still hope. I'm not giving away anything. I'm not denying anything. Who knows? And if you look close in the background, which I forgot to hide this time because I was lazy, that. Can you see that? You know what that is? That's a real Bubo's arm. Bubo is the toy I owned for the most time. He's a plush, and he's my best friend basically. And this was supposed to be on a big mountain, epic thing, and it's just the side of my brother's bed.
Ready for our special move?
Now you're talking.
And here Sonic and Boobo are about to do their special move, which is supposed to be something they've been doing when they were friends, before Boobo disappeared, and they just don't do it again. Or do they? Venom.
That's the giant if I've ever.
That's what you get, ugly.
A bit of a skinny Venom, but it's okay. I mean, we find out in the last movie of this phase that he's actually Spider-Man, so it works because Spider-Man is not skinny. I don't like very muscly Spider-Man. It's what I didn't like about Tobey's Spider-Man. I of course liked everything else, but he was a bit too chunky, too buff.
Little guy.
And Squirtle is nothing, but he is the biggest champion. He T-poses on Venom's body, everything is fine.
It's over,
Instant kill,
Anchor.
that's
You'll-
basically a spawn kill from
Wow.
Tepig. That's the enemy defeated. Only took them 9 minutes. And this is the party. Everyone has this hat from, I think, Ferrero Rocher's. And of course the mayor is there, Mayor Bottas. Tony doesn't have one, his head is too small. And Alan is got his nut again.
Who is that? Can they hear we have a party?
And here is the debut of Vector. Initially I was going to have him and Sonic and Boobo go on a quest in a movie called Chaos Quest, where they find where they want to find the Chaos Emeralds, and they fight Eggman, but I scrapped that plan basically.
Coming.
I didn't manage to convince myself to buy an Eggman figure.
Find the hedgehog. Bobo Shantae. I need your help.
And this was Toyland. I think it's a decent movie. The final battle is a bit meh, but it's okay. For the first movie, it introduces everything it needs to. Now, this is perhaps my weakest and least important movie of Phase 1. It was supposed to be a small continuation to Toyland, this takes place right after that, like a few weeks after that. And it's basically the Pokemon and the Bakugan fighting. I wanted this to be the title, Pokemon vs. Bakugan. I knew it would be pretty popular, and it is, 257, which is a lot for a channel with 10 subscribers right now. I hope this blows up or something. But yeah, it's not really the best written for me. I don't think I do the best job here. You can see a Ben 10 figure that if you watched my concept ideas for Ben 10 Omnitech, this was supposed to be Ben 10 there. And a smaller Ben, which I have no idea where I have it from. But he is going to be Bruce in a few movies. So yeah, Bruce is there. I don't know if this was supposed to be Christmassy because this was in April. Easter was around the corner. I don't know why this is here. And of course, a minion.
It feels so good to be free.
I think the subtitles are a good idea here because the Bakugan talk a lot and you can't really understand all of their words. So the subtitles are okay, but a pain in the ass to make. And Squirtle's voice is a bit deeper. I don't really know why. And yeah, the theme song is pretty cringy, but it's the last time you'd hear it. Oh, look, Alan has his glass, but no beer. He's still not peak clown levels.
If you can afford it.
Sorry, I died from cringe. And here is the Bakugan cast, mostly. Drago, Helios, Pegatrix, Cabo, and you can see a bit of Scorpion there, but I really can't remember what he did in this movie.
This weapon is looking very nice, but
And that's a carpet I threw together in 10 seconds. Just on the spot, I forgot to do a carpet before I started shooting. This movie sucks, but it has some okay moments. And here I introduced the first plot hole in my movies, but seeing as this is a bad movie, I don't think it matters. This movie is really not important because I don't think it does anything other than just put the Bakugan against the Pokemon. This was inspired by a series on YouTube. You can call it, you can search it. Pokemon vs. Bakugan. It's, I think, 5 parts, and it's better than this one, of course. Last movie. Of course, he's not allowed to say hell. Totally not copyrighted music. Now here, this is the plot hole. Pipik suggests the idea and then does not agree with this.
Not agree with this.
Now, I could say that Pipik knows what Squirtle is about to do and say it's just a battle in sports. But just ignore it, yeah, this is not a good movie. And this is the football stadium. Except it's not, it's white all over. This is a nod to how Drago starts a hotel in Hotel Bakugan, but that's a different universe. This was the movie. Honestly, it's really bad. Yeah. On to the next one. And now, just to get this out of the way, Hotel Bakugan the movie. This was a short series, 15 episodes, but they were like 2 minutes long, average. That I made in 2019 when I was riding the Bakugan hype train, and I just made a house for them, and then I made another house for them, and I figured, let's turn this into a series. And before I even started shooting the first episode, the whole script for season 1 was finished. So yeah, that's my proudest writing work, but there was a lot of filler. And it's why I cut like 10 episodes, maybe 7, 6, I don't know, out of the series to get this movie. And after like 2 years, almost 3 years, I really revisited the series and made it into a movie. And I think this works okay. It's basically a grow-up story for Frush. You can tell the camera quality was different. I had to use color correction in Movavi. This was made with my other phone, I think with a Huawei P something, but it's one of the earlier one. Not too great of a camera, I think the Samsung one is better, but it does the job, it looks okay. The colors are more vibrant, and there are more frames of animation.
Welcome everyone to Hotel Bakugan, a place for all of you.
But the voices are more muffled, and I think this is using the same headset as in Toyland, but I must have been using some settings wrong in Audacity. I don't know.
Or you the lie.
I took liberties with their powers, of course. I don't think Tentaclear can read minds.
Tentaclear will watch over all of you.
And you can see my Frosh is broken, it's missing 2 flaps. But I buy another one later into the series and fix it. It's actually even more powerful, so yeah. Stinglash has a different voice in the first episode than in the rest of this series. The action was a bit slower in the original, so I just speed it up a bit. Frosh is supposed to be really bad at this and he always loses. And that's why on his wall you can see he has like the day counting lines, but he uses it to count his losses. Now this is when Ixidra comes to put his plan into place. This is Drago's room. I really put a lot of effort into their rooms. He has the pyro symbol, a photo of him in his early stage, like Dragonoid, just not Neo Dragonoid. A Hotel Bakugan logo thing, and some papers with maybe bills he has to pay from all the electricity used by Wormquake, who is a metalhead in this series, but I don't think I really show it in this movie because it's filler. Those are shoe boxes. I think it's neat. I really liked those hotels, but I don't know what happened to them. But they were getting worse in shape as the season went on. And you can see here I tried to fix his flaps with a red painted cardboard. It didn't really work. If it works, if you don't pay attention to it. But there's no sculpted details, of course. And the sounds are a bit louder in this part of the film. I don't know why. That was a neat effect with Workmake coming out of the ground.
Time to end this. Volcano poison wave.
I added in the earthquake sound effect now. In the original series, it's not there. It just forms under him, no sounds, and he dies. I think having a Subterra Bakugan as the main antagonist is a unique idea. I don't think a Subterra Brawler was ever the enemy in a Bakugan series. I know maybe in the new one it's Aurelus because Subterra is gone, so that doesn't count. And no, I think Darkus was always the bad guy. And of course in Bakugan Battle Brawlers, the original series, it was Naga, which is not an attribute Bakugan. But I think this is a good version of Drago, characterization and all things considered. He's pretty much the same as the Drago in Pokemon vs. Bakugan, just one evolution less, or two actually. I don't have Cross Dragonoid. Of course, I really liked that move, that effect for him. I'm proud of it. I don't care what you say, I'm proud of it. During the fight, in the original series it's there, the fight is fully there, it's an episode full of it. But here I wanted to hide how powerful Ixidra is, mostly. I mean, Ratolid says he's powerful, calls out Zoak, and the Ixidra still wins, but you don't really see his powers. The explosions weren't there in the original series. And this is the plot twist, which we knew, but Drago didn't knew. In this universe, Bakugan basically love to brawl, so they just fight every time they can. And the attack just stops in its way because I was lazy. I was really lazy in 2019. I'm still lazy now. I'm always lazy. Boom, big explosion. He destroyed the field. Woo, new Vistroya slide. Fuck, I don't know how to speak. New Vistroya style fight. You can see all the dust on the floor of the hotel because I don't really know how to clean it. I used the brush once, but it still left some dust, so I just let it settle. Nice cinematic effect of how everything's dirty when Ixidra is at the wheel. And you can see he wrote Lord Ixidra here because he's very full of himself. And this is Serpenti's room. He's basically Australian, so he has a crocodile skin on the floor. You can see here the numbering and the how he's ripped through the wall due to being depressed from losing all the time. And he goes to ask someone else, Ratoloid. This is basically a kitchen thing, because Ratoloid was developing candy, which for the kids is candy, but for us it's performance enhancing drugs, pretty much the Goblin formula, but for Bakugan. And you can see Frosh has his legs back, and 300 more G-power.
What are you doing? Return to your rooms immediately. We challenge you to a fight. How dare you?
I think that's a neat thing, just having them disappear mid-sentence, so that we can focus on Frosh.
You're not alone.
And Drago is back! Big fight time!
Drago, no! You'll pay for this Ixidra. I can feel the power.
And he evolved.
What? You evolved?
All his rage turned him into Vengeur Frosh.
Vengeur, I don't think that's how you say it, but that's how I say it because I don't know how to speak French, means vengeful in French. Because that's what Frosh did.
But you can call me Frosh.
He avenged Drago. For a frame there you could see my hand, but this was Hotel Bakugan the movie. I think it's a neat movie, it's an okay movie, you can show it to your kids, they'll probably enjoy it. But yeah, not canon. Our next movie is Ben 10 Omnitech, which is the first appearance of this logo canonically, even though it's the first usage of that particular logo.
I was on a road trip with my grandpa Max and my cousin
Oh, let me turn this
when
down.
I found
It's
this
a
weird
bit...
watch called the Omnitrix.
It's a bit loud, starting with a voiceover, and this is canon. There is nothing connecting it to the other movies.
5 years
But
later,
this
I was
is
forced to
canon,
put it
just
on again to
trust
stop
me.
an alien
It's all
invasion.
part of the
And
plan.
with the
The theme song is the Ben 10 Alien Force Epic version from L'Orchestra Cinematique, which is in French, so don't expect me to pronounce it correctly. I really love their work. They do great epic versions of stuff. Cannonbolt is just me with very low pitch,
so I'm
and
losing time.
Benten is also me, but without any pitch. And this is Triro, which is played by my brother, who actually invented the character. I mean, he, as I said, these are all based on what me and my brother were
You would
playing
be
with the toys
surprised. Now
when we
let's
were
get into
kids.
your house.
I mean, he's still a kid, but
That's a nice house you have,
Trier was
Mr.
a
Triro.
character he created as the leader of the
Oh, just
Robotians.
call me Ben. No
And
need to
when
be
we
so
played, it
formal.
was much
What
grander.
brings you
He
to
wasn't
Earth?
just a Ben 10 villain, he was a everything villain. I mean, he took over the world in our place, but yeah, I really liked the idea, so I adapted him into this universe. The
Yeah, I need to
background,
be
as you can
somewhere. Be
probably
right
tell,
at home
it's
until I come
just
back. Won't be long.
paper, like a printed paper.
Hey Ben,
And this is Kevin's garage,
Have you seen the
which
news?
is just
what?
some
The robot
boxes
guy?
with
Yeah, I am his bodyguard for some
that's
reason.
like
He
a
wants to run for
5 gum
president.
box and some
My Omnitrix
uh,
scanned him. He said he's a
erasers
robot.
as the car jacks. Gwen
Here
played
we
by my
go.
girlfriend. Again, awesome job from her. Proto Ratchet, an invention of mine that I actually came up with just when I was thinking about this movie. He didn't exist when I was a kid. And there you can see for Gwen's feet, they are kind of blending into the road. That's not actually her melting, even though it was pretty warm outside. It's just that she has a real problem with standing. She doesn't like it because her feet are kind of pointing inwards. So unless she's on a really flat surface, she won't stand. And even there, it's a challenge. So I had her pegged into Sonic's snowboard that came with the figure, and I had to use the spot healing tool, I think it's called, to remove the board, and that's the effect. I think it looks better than having a big ass board with Sonic's head on it, but yeah, it's just the things I do for Gwen. And you can see here a lot of figures in the background. You can see my custom Joker. This is supposed to be Lex Luthor, and you can see Spider-Man. That's the Green Goblin. A bold Doctor Strange. This guy, I have no idea how it wandered into my house or what it's supposed to represent. But yeah, this is where Trevor gives its big political speech, where basically he convinces everyone of these Lego people and this big policeman from Thomas the Tank Engine. Or no, is it from Noddy? I don't know. And he convinces all of these Lego people to like agree with him and vote him for president, because that's quite a unique way to conquer a country. Just uh, become their political leader, their president, and boom. If you're also the president of another country, it's up to you to unite them. It's actually how Romania came to be. Armadillo is also me with a deep voice instead of robot voice, because I felt it was better. And now he turns into Hit Blast. You can even see, I think, there, that's actually my leg taking the photos. I was on the floor with this scene. That's my foot there in a white sock. That's actually my guitar amp, and that's the city from earlier, the one Cannonball jumped away from. And those are my acrylic. That's my box of acrylic paints. So many details if you don't look at the action, which you should. But it's worth a rewatch. Wink wink. And that's my brother's drone. He is a big fan of drones. And that's a bottle of water. Stay hydrated. And just weeks later, because time jumps are easy. This is in my garden. This is a huge like flashlight, and that's where we like eat outside. We just sit on those logs and eat at the table. It's nice. Living with a garden, it's really nice. And in the background soon you will
That's good
see
to
my
know these
dogs.
things. And the air is very clean. It will be good for your health.
You see them? I mean, not here, because here I had to cut out my hand because I was making greeny jump. But you could see my dogs. Look, that's Jade. She's a Labrador,
You have
and
arrived. Thank you,
if
plumbers.
the other
No
one
problem,
decides to
Nick.
move, it's that dog there. You can just go back and watch the movie to notice him. That's Panda. He's a mixed breed.
Pink Twitter
And
over
here they go on a
elections.
trip through my garden.
The people really seem to like him. I would be surprised
Pretty
if they
catchy
didn't.
song, even though
We are
you
here.
may hear it on other channels.
Poor
And those
guy,
are
this is our
those are leaves that were on the ground, so they were already dead. And to make the burning from the inside effect that Kevin mentions, I just took a small lighter and burned them on the edges a bit.
awful.
So no harm done more than has already been done to those leaves. You can see there how I burned it. I love this Humongousaur figure by whoever makes the new toys. It's great, honestly.
Let me leave.
And it's great for scale with the older Ben 10 toys because it's bigger than most of them.
Take care of you. But now
It's one of the problems with the original Humongousaur. He was pretty small,
I used the Omnitrix to heal the entire planet. Thank you,
casually.
Captain.
And here is a scene I really like as a concept and as an idea. I wanted to do a green screen here to make the lines like move, but then half the screen would have been lines moving because, well, it's in my garden, everything's green. And Triro is a president. Way! And he captures humans. Poor Ash. Not gonna
They
catch them
aren't
all, I
even
guess.
humans.
That's not Triro. In case you didn't notice, he's different in some ways. It's the same figure, but I edited it. It's just a Triro guard. I couldn't bother making another figure that I'm not going to use. And yeah, here I just used some Play-Doh for Gwen to stand because I couldn't bother editing the board out again. Strategy 100. And this is Grey Matter, and he's got something up his ass. And this is supposed to be a vent, because he's small, and he goes through vents. And this is, funny enough, Anker's house recycled, but I tried to make it look a bit fancier, so it's the White House. But it's not canon. I mean, Anker did not live in the White House. And that's a Roomba. That's just a Roomba. And this is the first time I used green screen in a video, even though it was actually blue screen, I think. I don't know. The second time was Shantae. And this is the fight in the White House.
You need to stop imprisoning humans. What have they done to you?
They really are.
Well, this human is going to show you how wrong you are.
Chroma Stone.
Energy absorption. What else you have in your arsenal, Tennyson?
Yeah, I kinda wish I did the aliens shouting out their names, but I think it would have been repetitive.
I have work to do, so I must call the guards. Robotic transformation, wonderful.
I like this idea of Triro having control over Benton's alien.
What happened, Tennyson?
I mean, if he is the leader and he can control every other Robotian, why not Ben? Ghost Freak was a sentient alien, and Big Chill also took control of him.
I was. My name is David Hall, and I was sent to
And this is a rib jaws I had to rebuild the jaw from. You can see that it's not really like the original. It came without a jaw, so yeah, I had to remodel it. And it turned out okay, I really like how it turned out. This wall of diamonds is also Play-Doh that I just cut in blocks so that it looks a bit more angly. And this is
Watch
Kevin's
out,
car.
there's a speed camera right there.
And
The police are robots. They are more
And I have a
dangerous.
pretty cute Easter egg on the license plate here,
I
like
told
John
you.
Watts likes to do. If you can notice it. In one of the frames you have to be really precise, but the license plate is actually the date Kevin first appeared, I think. I don't remember what the episode was, but his first appearance in Ben 10. Like the date is the number plate. And he just dies. Ben 10 is killed. And here is where, in this universe, Benton finds out about the failsafe.
He sent a message to his guard.
Because basically after Alien Force this,
So you have no choice.
I mean this is
Go,
pretty
what's
much
wrong,
the continuation of
Not
Alien
sure.
Force.
Omnitrix,
But Vilgax
can you
hasn't
disable
returned
an alien
yet,
transformation?
so he doesn't have the Ultimatrix. Yeah, this is pretty much where I place it. I mean Alien Force took a bit longer,
Omnitrix,
Vilgax
disable
didn't come
robotian
back yet,
transformation.
because
Code
I'm
0,
thinking of
1,
something
0.
special to do with Vilgax.
Here we go.
But don't tell anyone.
But
Yeah,
we need to
after
defeat
Benton
Trio
just
first,
murders a
or he'll just drop them
Robotian
back
by
up, if not
cutting him in
worse.
half,
I'm surprised you left them alive.
he doesn't do any more
If
of
he
that.
hates them, why not kill them?
Because
Part of
Benton
him
doesn't
is
have a
human,
no-kill
but he
rule.
doesn't wanna
I
admit
mean,
it.
in the show he's going for the kill multiple times. And that's just a small ventilator
Still be alive.
David, I'm here
with
to
a big
challenge you to a
Benton
duel.
head.
Time it-
That's supposed to be a statue of Joan d'Arc. Again, I'm not sure the pronunciation. I tried to sculpt it as best as I could, but it's just a lump. So yeah, it gets cut off anyway.
Don't have any advantage.
This is the final fight, let's see how epic it is. If any.
No, it's what I'm sure of.
Humongous are out of shot, nice. Grrr. Chromostone. He creates a Nerf gun and
the owner of the
closing
Omnitrix, I have
monologue.
defeated Vilgax and Trio.
So
Saved
yeah,
the universe
this is
countless
pretty much
times,
where I
and
settled
I'm
he's still in
struggling to
school.
pass this test.
With just one simple trick. I mean, it's not the focus of the movie. This is pretty much in the summer, in my canon. But yeah, Benton Omnitech, I still think it's one of my best scripts for a movie. And the production is okay. I think this is a good stop motion movie, considering it's a one-person job with some voices done by other people. So yeah, I think this is one of my better movies. On to the next one. And next up we have Shantae, which is a project I've been waiting to do, because Bubo is a person favorite of mine, even though he's not popular.
What is happening?
Vector voiced by my brother.
Uh,
He pretty much created the character of Vector, not as Wolverine though. That's me who came up with the idea of making him Wolverine. He's due an origin story, but I'm not promising anything. You can find a small part of his origin on the wiki of this site, which is in the description. And they're on a train here. I think the sets were okay in this first episode, especially.
In 5 minutes, we will be arriving on Nova Theos Island.
Novo Theos was a name given to me by my girlfriend. She was just going around the town. I asked her, hey, I need a name for an island, and she gave me the name of a random restaurant in my city. This was supposed to be the Chaos Quest movie, but I decided to make it the Bubo Central story. But don't worry, Sonic will have his adventure too. Unfortunately, Vector's claws were a bit rotund, but that's going to be fixed. And yeah, Bubo's mom is Daphne, and Bubo's father is himself, but with a bit of sideburns. And that's actually my brother having trouble pronouncing Chimalpopoca. Or Kimalpopoca or Shimalpopoca. I have no idea. And that's just a Lego katana, of course. This Lego machine took me 3 minutes to build. I knew it was going to get destroyed, so I didn't put too much effort into it. And it destroys a flower. Boom. And there the sword saves Bubo. Sonic gets KO'd. Boom. Dead. No. Nyong. It's funny how he uses the same move on the machine as he does on Vector in the final episode. Boom, he kills Ben then. And that's Leo. You're going to meet him soon. But it's not this character, it's just the same actor. This is just a random extra, because he gets punched off. There's no computer. Oops. And they do some domestic violence on animals.
What have you done?
And Bubo turns off the lights.
Well, now you can try.
Yeah, my girlfriend is the voice for Bubo, and she does a kind of boyish voice, not a man. I asked her to like get inspiration from Tara Strong when he was doing the voice for young Ben. It's not she's a girl, but she's not doing a girl voice. She's doing a bit of a young boy, and that's what Bubo is supposed to be. And Bubo gets mad. So yeah, this was the first episode. Let's go to the second one, which is the weakest episode of Shantae, I think. There's Noddy in his car. A favorite of mine when I was a kid, Noddy. I really liked it, and it's the inspiration for the everyone being toys thing. And we can see he goes to Tora where it is a temple. He is here getting drunk and the monkey just drops his whiskey or whatever. And now a monkey chases after a monkey, and Bubo is, yes, canonically a monkey. A red monkey, without a tail, or with barely any tail, and round ears.
This is sacred territory.
And there's the
Can't
first
stay
appearance
here.
of Kangoo, who I have big plans for. But I'm not going to tell you what plans. Okay, this didn't work as well as I had hoped, the perspective thing.
With the help of this
I
temple,
don't know what the message was trying to be. I just wanted to make Kangoo seem deep and thoughtful. So this was the second episode, just introduces Kangoo and Bubo training for him. And now for episode 3. This is a pretty good episode, of course, in memory of Noodles, my pet mouse who was taken from us too soon, way too soon. I still miss him to this day.
heard from him since the incident.
Yeah, he was a good friend.
You can blame him, his parents just died.
Yeah.
But now let's focus on the episode before I tear up. Here I introduce the Sentinels project. Subtly, I think.
Coming.
It fits with the story, kind of. There's Iron Man sitting on a phone case and an actual phone.
In the United States that happened a few months ago, we had the idea of assembling
Okay,
a
looks like I lied in the
like you,
Benton Omnitech thing, because
something stronger than a
this is
police
where
force
it
in case we face serious threats.
glues with the other
Happened last month.
Toyland
Been watching the news.
movies. The incident in America last week. It's the Benton. A couple of names also includes Bruce Banner and some others, which I'm not going to tell you because they are surprise. Meanwhile, Bubo trains on some heavy metal, which is actually a local band. Boom. With the sword in his hand, just going for the attack. Peace was never an option. And honestly, I think my girlfriend does her best job when she's Bubo, because she displays emotions better. I mean, she was fine as Gwen, but a bit emotionless. Not trying to make her seem bad, just pointing out things.
Yeah, not me.
And here comes the moment, just plunk, dead. Throws him down my desk.
Bobo, you idiot.
I didn't mean for that to happen.
Except you definitely sunk the sword. Wow.
Sonic, did you find Vector is dead?
I'm taking the piss at my movies, but I do enjoy them. And this is the first episode where the credits don't have music, to kind of enhance the sad moment of like, oh, Vector passed away. So yeah, one movie left. Let's go. And this is the Sentinels, the final movie of Phase 1, because Phase 1 was basically introducing the Sentinels. And we start off with Icebreaker, and Guido telling him he found something interesting. I think this is also good script by me. This and Bent and Omnitech perhaps are my best two scripts. And also Shantae is there. Season 2 is going to be so good. I have the script ready, I'm just waiting for some things. But it's going to be great. And here's Venom introduced with the epic theme song that I found on YouTube, but I can't remember the name of, because I picked it a long time ago. Wow. I actually really enjoyed this theme song. I would listen to it as a song in my playlist. And here they are at the orphanage with the new Tony Stark head. So yeah, they're still following Vector's idea, because he was the smartest of them. I mean, Tony Stark is smart. And there, you can see a small drawing of Spider-Man that some kids did. That's foreshadowing Spider-Man appearing at the end of the movie.
Are you two his legal tutors?
There's another Easter egg down the line. It's not as
Okay,
small.
so for a minute.
Bruce is a
Bruce,
Ben 10
does have
reboot
any start to
minifigure
end?
that also wandered in my
I want to
house
speak with you,
somehow.
Bruce, and leave you to it.
And that's not Gwen, even though she's voiced by the same person and doing pretty much the same voice. See, Alan has a heart. He's a clown, but he has a heart. Somewhere in that big ass chest of his, Rob Liefeld chest. I also have a movie planned for Tepig with a pretty interesting story. I'm telling you all this now, but I'm not telling you any details. Just what to expect. And you do the scripts, because um, maybe the Marvel guys look at our theories and just take them as ideas for movies. We never know. It's always easier when other people write your script. And here we introduce the plot of the movie, with Icebreaker coming after being utterly defeated by Venom and telling him Venom is on its way to here. And it makes sense that Venom would come here because, spoiler alert, he's Spider-Man, so he has to come home. Look at their shocked faces. And that's the other Easter egg. My Spider-Man Far From Home SH Figures box. Even though it's not the action figure I use, because I also have the Spectacular Spider-Man one. And it's all gonna make sense, trust me. There's Hulk. Marvel Universe scale figures of 4-inch scale. I mean, it's pretty big, but it doesn't scale gigantically with the 16 inches. It scales well with Iron Man and Sonic, but it's also small. And here we find out that Bruce Banner is Hulk. Who would have anticipated that? It's Bruce is me with a very high pitch. And this is Bubble, just beating up trees. That's a tree, trust me. You can see Chimalpopoca is damaged. It was clean in Shantae, but it's now damaged. So yeah, small continuity detail there. And you can see he's looking at DNA data on my small camera. Just another small detail I'm pointing out. I don't know exactly what Bruce's age is, maybe 8.
We should arrest you, but we haven't got time for that. We need to work
You
as a
can see
team to
that
defeat
the
Venom.
justice system does
I
affect
don't know where he will attack when he wants
the
to.
superheroes,
What do we
unlike
know about
the
him?
Marvel Universe. I mean, there were the Sokovia Accords, but we even respected that. The Jordison Street is because when I was writing the script, I needed a street name, and Joey Jordison died around that time, so I figured I should tribute him. And there's Iron Man flying over a JPEG. And here they come in formation. Epic! Woo! Yeah! I wanted to find the sound effect that pierces the ear, kind of, without making you click off the video.
Who is this?
And there's the Venom symbiote card, so I can use it if I want in future projects. And there's Spider-Man,
Who are you guys?
Who are you?
voiced by my good
I've
friend
never seen
Jeb.
you around.
How are you
He
so
also
far?
has a YouTube channel that will be in the description if I don't forget to put it there. And if you could hear there
6 inches.
the small
Why is my mask off?
sound effect of the spider sense, and he whips away, and boom, Iron Man murders him.
You've got explained.
Spider-Man is killed. And boom, interrogation, inspired by No Way Home, but
Peter Parker.
that's a good
He
movie,
is high
so
school.
yeah,
No
some
past
exposition
crimes.
on
So tell me,
Peter.
Parker, what is a
It's
nice
basically a
teenager like
continuation of the
Toyland running
Spectacular
around as a
Spider-Man
monster
show,
attacking
with some things
Guess he's a
changed that I
symbiote. He
feel
took over my body.
didn't work. I
Doesn't
mean,
need
one
all those things.
thing I changed,
Then why did you try to run away after the
and
so-called
it's not in this
symbiote
movie.
left?
I didn't want
There
people
is
to
a
see my
Spider-Man
face.
solo movie
I had
coming
for
out
at least had
in Phase 2.
before-
Jeb does
Well,
not
listen to
sound
that
like
again.
Josh Keaton, he
Ezra
sounds
knows
a
about Tony
bit
Stark.
deeper,
Why
his
do
voice
you
is a
have
bit
to be
deeper,
more special?
but
Because I have
it
people
works for an
protecting
older
me.
Peter Parker.
If my enemies knew my real
Jeb
name,
is great,
they'd
he
go
has a
after my
great
family and
voice.
friends.
Oh, again, the justice system working for
Have you found
superheroes,
anything?
because it makes sense.
I've been watching him for a few months.
But
He's pretty
unlike
good, but could
the
use some
MCU,
practice.
he
So do we
doesn't
release him?
basically
Yeah.
adopt him. He's
I will
just
continue
keeping
to
an
keep
eye on him.
Make sure he doesn't do anything stupid.
And
Good
here
news,
he
Parker.
goes free.
Stark has managed to confirm your innocence.
This is some
So
sort
can I go
of
home now?
spectacular Spider-Man
Yes,
figure
you're
that
free.
came with a
Be
grey
careful.
thing with claws. I took that down and with
Yes?
the help of my
You're doing
girlfriend
good.
sculpted
Thank you,
the
officer.
new body on it. It looks a bit wonky here, but I did fix it. And it's going to look absolutely amazing, or should I say spectacular, in his film. But these were all the movies in phase 1 of Toyland. Overall, decent. Just some movies that are not so good. I mean, obviously Pokemon vs Bakugan, that's really forgettable. Hotel Bakugan is also not canon, but it's decent. What would I say is the best movie? Maybe Ben 10 Omnitech. I think it just edges out Sentinels. And the best show is the only show, Shantae. But that's a personal project. I mean, it's canon, but it's something I really want to do, even if not many people see it. So yeah, I will see you for phase 2. Enjoy.